wheel in motion?
Well, I think a couple things. If you go back and look at the parameters that we changed the way the bowls were going to be determined. That had a lot to do with it when you looked at some of the parameters, including not playing in the same area more than a few times in a few years, and Nebraska's been to California a few times. And then the biggest factor is if all the teams ahead of us got pushed up into the New Year's Six, that's what really opened up the possibility of the Outback. And then in conversations with Jim McVay, because of that finish that our student athletes took on against Nebraska, I think that really helped solidify it. The fact that we're a team on the rise, and our fans, the Outback Bowl knows our fans and knows that after a game like that, we'll have a good show.
Well, I mean, to win the way you did and to finish the way you did, you were kind of unquestionably the next best team available. I mean, what was that like, to almost working from a position of strength where you had the potential? If you said, hey, we want to go to the Holiday Bowl, you probably would have gone.
Yeah, probably, but I also know that even though you can give preferences, it's still going to be when the next bowl is up, they have the opportunity to pick who they want. And I mean this with great sincerity. Any of the three bowls that we were talking about, we would have loved. I can make the case to go to any one of those. Tennessee is a great bowl. Our fans could have driven there. Holiday Bowl is a great bowl. I've been involved in a couple of those, and we know the Outback's great. So this just turned out to be a perfect. And the fact that it was snowing today really made it. I smiled even more when we received the invitation. It made it feel that much better.
Gary, are you concerned at all about fans maybe making a second trip to Southern California in such a short time? It's not cheap. It's not far away.
Well, first of all, the Holiday Bowl is a great bowl, and I know our fans that have experienced that know that. Probably more than the location was the date, the 27th. I think would have been a little bit more of a challenge, but that didn't factor into the discussion. If the Holiday Bowl would have been selecting before the Outback Bowl, we probably would be having a conversation about going there. Bottom ine is either one of those bowls. I talked to both of those directors, and I can make a great case to go into either one of them.
How many tickets will be allotted?
The ticket allotment is 8,500. We went on sale today. I don't have an update. I know there was a lot of interest as the week unfolds. I think that's a combination of club seats. I think there's two prices: club seats and non-club seat pricing. I don't remember exactly. It's something like $80 or $85 and $170 are the two prices.
What about the timeline for you? The North Dakota State result to the Nebraska result. How do you reconcile the differences in the performances and results?
Well, I think there's a couple of ways to look at this. One, if you look at every team's schedule this year, you're going to see a team that those that aren't undefeated, which is most teams, they say, "Wow, we lost that one. If we had that one to do over again, would we lose it again?" I've been doing this a long time. That's why I never get too high when we win or too low when we lose, because you hear me say all the time, I'm going to let the season play out, and then I'll look back on evaluating. As I evaluate it, we got better and better as the year went on. We had that wonderful bounce back. Think about our students as they go into life and they experience something like they experienced at Penn State. And they come back to work on Monday, and a week later they do something nobody believes they can do. That's just one of those great life lessons. And if you just keep going after it, which is what Kirk and his coaches do and what the student athletes do, again, it's week to week. I know we say that all the time, but it's real.
It's still a one end of the spectrum to the other. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
In some ways, I always say this. Reality TV. The shows now are called reality TV. Reality TV's been around for a long time. It's called sports, and it played itself out this year. And if you think about it, if you go back over the years, it kind of plays itself out every year. At the end of every year, we have these situations where we talk about, boy, think about how bad you felt after that loss and how great you felt after this one, and you should have won this one and you should have lost that one. It's reality TV at its finest.
So then what's the word you use to describe this regular season?
Improvement and perseverance. Perseverance in that when things didn't go well, Kirk and his staff, like they always do, got the student athletes to just come back to work, and they persevered and they improved. And both cases, here we are today, headed to the Outback Bowl.
So if